you all for being here with the first ever contemporary confessions service here at Beth Israel. It's a participatory service, so we hope you all will use it to add meaning to your Yom Kippur observance. We're starting on page 2. Again, God, it's been a whole year since last Yom Tov with you. It seems like yesterday, that year ago. I remember wanting to show both you and myself all the changes I'd make, all the fine things I'd do, as I sat here last Yom Tov, as I sat here with you. Those beautiful prayers, how they inspired me. The idea that we could still grow emotionally, spiritually. The thought that I alone could make a difference in the world. Such powerful words when I read them. How committed I felt when I said them.
But I fear I have fallen short, God. I fear I am the same person now I was then, with the same limitations, the same struggles, the same inertia. Does this struggle not end? Do we forever have to be starting again and again and still again, asking forgiveness, confessing to sin? Does this cycle have something to do with why I'm compelled to come back to you? To keep trying, right? We must keep trying. It is a process, right? Crossing those deserts within, a process, not an end.
Well, if that's the case, then don't count me out, God, and neither shall I. And again I look inward with an unblinking eye, and see all the constraints that keep me from growing, all the defenses that keep me from knowing I can do more than I've done this past year. Maybe lessen the burden for next time I'm here. So with unfulfilled dreams and incomplete tasks, with an emptiness I hide well behind masks, here I am, God. There's still work to do, as I sit here this young, as I sit here with you.
We live in a dynamic world. Everything changes. Winds change direction, sands shift. Rivers change course, mountains move, glaciers melt. No one ever stays the same. Everyone changes. One cell becomes two, two become four. What we were and what we are give way to what we will become. Children grow up, we grow old. And there is no choice except for what we choose to become. So the question is not will we change, but how will we change?
I know today is a day for change, but change moves through me like an unsettling wind. Invisible, yet I know it's there. I feel its movement. At times, the breeze is cold and makes me shudder. In my attempt to shield myself from the harshness of life, do I wrap myself in so many layers that I cut off my very breath? At other times, the breeze is friendly and awakens me to possibilities. But in my zeal to advance life's potential, do I shed my layers in such impassioned response that I lose perspective? I'm confused about this thing called change. Today is a day for change. Today is a day for growth. Am I here to change? Am I here to grow? Am I here because I am a Jew and it is Yom Kippur? Am I here because my family expects me to be here? Am I here to strengthen my bonds with my family, with my people, with God? Am I here to seek forgiveness for sins I have committed? I am here to understand how exactly I have sinned. I am here to discover my sins.
But what is sin? Sin is a foreign word these days with no meaning for me. I get up, go to work, do my job. What is my sin?
I play, I laugh, cry, rejoice, and mourn. What is my sin?
Okay, sometimes I shout, argue, am disagreeable. Are these sins? I nurture, protect, provide. I do the best I can.
I am here to discover my sins. I am here to confront myself, to see myself as I really am. I am willing to look separation. Separation from my family by my work, by fatigue, fear, anger, by my preoccupation with myself. I see detachment, insulating me from what I prefer not to see or deal with. Are these sins? I am here to confess.
Yes, to confess. For only when I confess can I start anew. Only when I confess can I begin to grow.
Now is the time to sow the seeds of growth. The ground is fertile, the season is here, the time is now. But I'm afraid to dig into the earth of my soul, for I do not know what I might find there. I don't know if I have the courage to change, to grow, to break through the crust of hardened soil, of hardened soul. Change is the corridor between where I am now and places unknown. I don't know what I might find beyond the corridor. Though I hope for fulfillment, I fear failure. Though I hope for treasure, I fear trouble. I seek a better way, but I fear losing my ways. Old ways are familiar and comfortable, but to stay trapped forever in yesterday's ways is to wither as a plant without nourishment, is to stagnate as a pond without circulation. So, God, I have no alternative. To admit I have failed in the past is to break the ground. To examine my failures is to plant the first seed. But to grow, to grow from my failures is to stand tall in the garden of peace. Let us begin.
But how can we turn unless we know where we are? How can we grow unless we know who we To turn and to grow demand complete honesty with ourselves. No face to be saved, no barrier between us and the truth. For unless we drop all pretense, we will not find the truth and will never be free from yesterday's ways. So let us resign from the frantic pace of other days, and in the moving quiet of this day, face ourselves honestly, squarely. I think of myself as an ethical person.
Do I live by my principles, or do I merely pay them lip service?
I think of myself as a person of strong moral character.
When facing life's attractive but questionable options, do I follow my conscience, or do I stray from the path?
I try to make choices based on what is right, not what is popular or convenient or expedient.
Do I, or do I do as I please, and then try to justify my behavior?
I try to set a good example.
I deed as well as I word.
I value what is really important in life.
Do I, or do I place virtual reality, material gain, success, above honor, integrity, and even the legal arousal?
Oh God, these are difficult questions. Having to answer them makes me uncomfortable. Yet I understand part of the purpose of such probing questions. Indeed, part of the purpose of this entire day is to make me uncomfortable. Uncomfortable for the sins I have committed. For I sin against you when I sin against myself.
We sin against you when we sin against ourselves. For our failures of self, O God, we ask forgiveness.
For using the sins of others to excuse our own.
For tolerating ourselves while we condemn others.
For denying our responsibility for others' misfortunes.
For refusing to admit our share in the troubles of others.
For pretending to emotions we do not feel.
For having convictions and not expressing them.
For passing judgment without knowledge of the facts.
For allowing falsehoods to go unchallenged.
For having a talent and not using it.
For having a goal and not pursuing it.
For giving up our dreams.
For closing our eyes to reality.
For false pride.
For no pride.
For self-contempt.
For overinflated egos.
For not recognizing the sacrifice of others.
For making martyrs of ourselves.
For demanding instant gratification.
For expecting constant gratification.
For expecting too much.
For settling for too little.
For always saying no.
For never saying no.
We have failed ourselves by letting issues fester in the dark instead of bringing them into the light.
We have failed ourselves by holding grudges instead of dismantling our anger.
We have failed ourselves by our pettiness and our envy,
By our conformity and imitation.
by our gossip and conceit.
By our arrogance and greed.
We sin against you when we sin against ourselves. For our failures of self, we ask forgiveness.
For all our failures of self, O God, we ask forgiveness.
I have sinned, I have confessed, and I shall repent. I pray I will be able to overcome any resistance to change. I pray that this day be one of honest self-analysis in an ongoing effort to right what is wrong within me.
God, help me cross that desert place within me. The desert I feel when faced with my dreams, which I fear will vanish at my touch, mirages in the desert. The desert of sleeplessness and the desert of dreamlessness, and the harsh drought of a morning full of empty tasks. The desert of silence and the bone-dry rattle of wind through a mound of hollow phrases. In the drought of empty dreams, in the dreams of empty drama, I have grown barren. At times, I move without meaning, and my gestures wither in my hands. At times, I speak without meaning, and my words turn to dust in my mouth. Across the loneliness of all these deserts, God, I cry for help. As you helped my ancestors cross the desert out of exile in Egypt, help me from my exile, and guide me toward at-one-ment with myself and with you.
Winter's day, in a deep and dark December,
nudged and coaxed and encouraged to crawl, to walk, to run, to soar. So do we learn the values by which we live. Ideally, our parents nudged and coaxed and pushed. They were our teachers by word and by example, as were their parents for them. In the homes we establish, love and partnership among the generations must continue to be the pattern of our lives. Therefore, if the Day of Atonement is to have full meaning for us, we must seek at one, not only with ourselves, but with our families.
There are a series of meditations which follow on pages 14 through 18. Please choose the ones that are appropriate for you. Yom Kippur is a time to think not only of what we have done wrong, but of what we have not done right. For sins of omission bring painful regret and are most difficult to forgive in ourselves. Yet we pass by opportunity after opportunity to express to our family, and to others important to us, feelings of admiration and appreciation. We expect those we care about just to know how we feel. Then one day, we look back with regret, wishing we could tell them, but we can't.
I'd like to tell you, but I haven't time.
I went out. People were coming and going, walking and running, so pressured.
Everything was rushing. Cars, trucks, the neighborhood, the whole town.
People were rushing not to waste time. They were rushing after time, to catch up with time, to gain time.
Goodbye, excuse me, I haven't time.
I'll come back later. I can't wait. I haven't
I
time.
must send this email, I haven't time.
I'd love to help you with your homework, but I haven't time.
How will you get to soccer practice? I haven't time.
I want to volunteer, but I haven't time.
That looks like a great concert, but I haven't
I
time.
can't accept having no
I
time.
can't think, I can't read, I'm swamped, I haven't
I'd
time.
like to pray, but I haven't time.
I want to tell you I love you, but I haven't time.
Today we take the time to express what is often in our hearts, but seldom on our lips.
Child around just the other day, he came into the world in the usual way, but there were his cash, bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was afraid, and he was talking more than you would have as he grew. He said, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy, blue man, when you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when. We'll get together then, son. You know how good time My son turned 10 just the other day. Said thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to row? I said not today. I've got a lot to do. He said that's okay. And he walked away, but he smiled at the day and said, I'm gonna be like you, yeah. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy, blue man in the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when. We'll get together then, son. You know what a good time When I came from college just the other day, so much like a man has had to say. Son, I'm proud of you. Can you sing for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I really like, Dad, is to borrow the heartbeats. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy, blue man in the moon. Yeah, when you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when. We'll get together then, Dad. You know what a good time Long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. See, my new job's a hassle and the kids have no clue. It's been sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, growing up just like me, my boy was just like me. And the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy, blue man, when you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when. We'll get together then, son. You know how a good time
To the one I love, I appreciate you not only for what you are, but for what you have helped me to be. Not only for what you have made of yourself, but for helping me become who I am. I thank you for passing over all the foolish, thoughtless things you cannot help seeing in me, and for drawing into the light the positive qualities you have found in me. You have listened, tolerated, encouraged, and supported me. You have enriched my life with a kind word and an understanding glance, a warm embrace, and most of all by caring. You are always there for me, and that comforts me. If in this year I have offended you, belittled you, taken you for granted, or expected too much of you, I am truly sorry. Please forgive me.
To my parents, have I neglected to tell you I appreciate the sacrifices of your time for my time, of your needs for my needs? Have I neglected to tell you you've been my anchor, my sounding board, even my scapegoat? You have loved me even when I frustrated you, even when I disappointed you, even when I angered you. From your example, I've learned to love, to care, to commit, to grow. You provided me the foundation upon which to build my life. Have I neglected to tell you how much I love you? I want to tell you today.
To my child, there is great love in my heart for you. For my mistakes, I am truly sorry, and I ask your forgiveness if I fail to spend enough time with you, if I let my temper flare too often or too little, if I was overly critical or overly approving, if I pushed you in certain directions for my own gratification, if I was lax when I should have set limits, if I was rigid when I should have been flexible, if I neglected you or overprotected you, if I spoke when I should have remained silent or remained silent when I should have spoken, I am deeply sorry. For you, my child, are of me, and all you feel, I feel. If I could protect you from the pain of life, I would. If I could blot out life's indignities, I would. May you forever know I love you, and as your parent, I pray we are at one again.
Oh God, help me grow in my loving relationship to my family. Help me express my feelings of pride and appreciation. And when I am angry, help me express my anger constructively. Help me be as sensitive to my family as I try to be to my associates and friends. Help me choose my words well, for some words have teeth. Help me criticize without hurting. Help me accept criticism without resentment. Help me face issues that need facing. Help me not be issues that very little thing. Help me be less judgmental, less overbearing. Help me respect my family's right to do things their way. Help me love my children when I find them difficult to love. Help me love them when I find it difficult to feel loved. Help me be open to the feelings of those I love. Help me open my heart to those who love me. Help us to establish homes in the tradition of our people. Homes where children honor their parents. Homes where parents respect their children. Homes where there is shalom.
Thank you.
see our weaknesses the past 12 months. We even dare to glare at ourselves inside. But why today? What compels us to be here? Yom Kippur, we say. Yom Kippur, our parents and grandparents said. Yom Kippur, we have always said. Because we are the Jewish people. We are what the Jewish people has become.
But will our descendants say Yom Kippur?
Throughout history, we Jews have clung tenaciously to our religion. Had we at any time been willing to give up our faith, our culture, or our teachings, not only would our history be different, it might have ended.
Heritage has come down to us along the painful path our people has traveled. Was it worth it along the painful path? Or are we worthy of it? For we are what the Jewish people has become.
Throughout history, we Jews have changed customs, even concepts from within. But we refuse to abandon our faith and have been willing to suffer persecution rather than submit.
The heritage of faith and learning has come down to us out of the life of our people. Was the suffering worth it? For we are what the Jewish people has become.
A heritage of justice and peace has come down to us out of the life of our people.
Are we worthy of it?
All this is ours. Ours the teaching. Ours the task to make the heritage live.
Are we living it? Will our children say Yom Kippur?
To betray the present is to destroy the past.
Am I among those destroying our heritage?
Some of us have strayed from our ancestral faith and broken the chain of tradition.
Am I among them?
Some of us have despised the birthright and treated our heritage with the contempt of indifference.
Am I among them?
Some, by our own actions or failure to act, have brought dishonor to the good name of our people.
Am I among them?
To betray the present is to destroy the past. To destroy the past is to extinguish the future.
God, keep me from being among these, so that our children will say Yom Kippur.
O God, help us to grow as Jews. May our loyalties be deepened as our knowledge increases.
Forgive us if we have lost the impulse to study our past. Forgive us if we have not involved ourselves in our community. Forgive us if we have not inspired our children to love their faith.
May our homes reflect the symbols and pieties that remind us of our Jewish obligations. May our congregation reinforce the fellowship of faith for us and our families. May we preserve the Jewish faith, and may the Jewish faith preserve us.
Yom Kippur we say, Yom Kippur our ancestors said. May our children say Yom Kippur.
Some days and times and ways, before all that is sacred, we attest to the beauty of life, to the magnificent splendor of this world, variously displayed in crashing surf and quiet desert, soaring peaks and fertile plains, to the outrageous outburst of spring and the kaleidoscopic palette of autumn. And for all these splendors, thanks our praise to you. But today, in this place and time and way, we must attest to the painfulness of life, to the pernicious and perennial inclination of all humans to distinguish us from them, to make much of differences and light of similarities. We must attest to the unjust maldistribution of life's most fundamental resources and our inclination to hoard rather than share, to ignore rather than act. And we must face how we make such divisions worse by our own acts of disregard, diminishment, and destruction. On this holiest of days, in this place and time and way, we must shamefully admit our transgressions as a society and our callousness and apathy as individuals to you. Too often in the absence of a catastrophic event, the world is reduced to my world, my environment, my needs. There are people around me hurting, grieving, hopeless, friendless, and I turn my back. I have troubles of my own. I listen to the news. I hear about the destruction of our environment. abuse, without hate crimes. There was a world of hurt around me, and what do I say? What can I do? I am only a single voice.
Am I failing my neighbors? Are we failing our world? Have we in turn heads are not the answer? Or I am the answer? We are the answer.
If we only have love, then tomorrow will dawn, and the days of our years will rise on and on. If we only have love to embrace without fears, we will kiss with our eyes, we will sleep without tears.
Where have all the bright dreams gone? There is so much anguish and despair, so much violence and distress. Uneasy and confused, we cry out, who is responsible?
I am responsible.
Every night, millions of people go to bed hungry, many of them children.
Have I done anything to help end starvation? Have I done enough to help end starvation?
The streets are filled with homeless people.
Have I done anything to give them a chance? Or do I walk by them, eyes closed to their plight?
There are people all over the world oppressed and downtrodden, driven from their homeland, and I am asked repeatedly to help.
Have I done something, anything to let them know someone cares? Or do I care?
Society abounds with dejected people, on the fringe because they are uneducated, illiterate, ill prepared to make their way in our competitive world.
Have I done anything to give them hope? Or am I insensitive to their need for help?
For the sin of callousness or indifference in the face of human suffering, I ask forgiveness. For the sin of advancing the status quo, if only by my silence or failure to act, I ask forgiveness.
Look, I'm a very busy person. I have my family, my friends, my job, meetings to attend. And I need some time for myself. You know how it is. A very busy person.
My world is important, but I must be on my life.
Though we can't solve the world's problems alone or even in our lifetime, we are not absolved from the obligation to try. We must no longer leave it to the next person.
Before next year, will I make a difference?
I could mentor an underprivileged child.
Before next year, will I make a difference?
I can telephone an elderly person alone in the world.
Before next year, will I make a difference?
I can feed a hungry child.
Before next year, will I make a difference?
I can help teach an illiterate person to read.
Before next year, will I make a difference?
I can reach out to an abused child.
Before next year, will I make a difference?
The community cries out for my involvement.
For the sin of difference or callousness in the face of human suffering, I ask forgiveness. For the sin of not doing my part, I ask forgiveness.
If we only have love, with our eyes open wide, then the young and the old will stand at our side. If we only have love, love that's falling like rain, then the parched desert earth will grow green again. If we only have love for the hymn that we shout, for the song that we sing, then we'll have the
Let now an infinite presence enter our souls and our minds, teaching us a gentleness that transcends force and melts our hardened hearts. May this penitential season make us more sensitive to the needs of our neighbors and more responsive to their pleas for sympathy and help. all who struggle vainly for attention, and those who shrink with fear at another's flesh, all whose outward ugliness may hide a soul of beauty, and those whose awkwardness blinds us to an inner grace, all whose minds are clouded with weak, and all those who bear the burden of broken bodies, all who wait in pain only for death, and those who wait for news which never comes, those who are alone, unloved, with none to love, all orphans and widows, abandoned husbands and wives, neglected children.
If we only have love, we can reach those in pain. We can heal our wounds. We can use our own names. If we only have love, we can melt all the guns and then give the new world to our daughters and sons.
We sin against you when we sin against our fellow human beings. For the sin of indifference, O God, we ask forgiveness. For the sin of wantonly, carelessly abusing our environment, poisoning our water, our air, our soil. For the sin of not doing my part to stop polluting. For the sin of not doing enough to stop polluting. For the sin of playing it safe when moral issues flame up too hot in the community and in the world. For the sin of mouthing the words covenant and division and brotherhood and justice, and then letting others do our part. And for the sin of causeless hatred, for the sin we have committed by closing our hearts to people of other races, other nationalities, other orientations. For the sin we have committed by polluting our children's attitudes toward our prejudices. For the sin we have committed by not respecting God's image in every human being. For all these sins, O God, forgive us, pardon us, grant us love.
If we only have love, then Jerusalem stands, and then death has no shadow. There are no foreign lands. If we only have love, we will never bow down. We'll be tall as the pines, neither heroes nor crowns, and with nothing at all but the little we are, we'll have conquered all time, all space, the sun and the stars.
Today I find strength by admitting I am weak. Today I confess and face up to you, God, for the sins of a year. Today I question my innermost soul to see if it is pure and clear. Today I pledge to follow the road that is right, not the road that is easy. Today I am at one with myself and with you.
O God, we know perfection is beyond us, but if we stumble, let it be on steps leading upward.
We are willing in the past and told us, until we remember we are not alone.
There is a grace that every dawn renews, a loveliness making every morning fresh.
We shall endure, we shall prevail, we shall see the soul restored to joy, and hand return to strength, and will regain its force.
We shall ride with hope. We, the children of the one who crowded the heavens with stars, endowed the earth with glory, and filled our minds with wonder.
Today is a day for change.
Today is the day for growth.
Today is a new beginning, And to this, let us all say,
Amen.